Welcome back to Chasing the Dream on Alma, Missouri. So we are still in October because we've got corn to harvest. So October 1st, we went through, we got all the soybean done. You know, the yield was good. The numbers that came out of it, yeah. But we got some bales off that field as well. So we get some soybean straw. I'm going to run into town because we're about to start the harvest. My hired hands are going to get that going on the corn, and I'm going to pick up some propane because we're going to need it for our new dryer system to dry our corn. And we get to mess around with, trying to set up the bins correctly where it loads into the drying section and so on and so forth, which should be interesting. But yeah, so I'll get back to you once we get into town, and we'll go from there. See y'all in a bit. Alright, so we are almost here. Just heard over the radio from the guys. They've started combining the corn. Pull in here. I want to say I want to be on that other side of it. Trying to get through here. Must be something going on over here. All this traffic. And we are filling up with propane. Like I said, we'll get this back. We'll get the silo. Well, we'll get the propane loaded in, and we'll get the silo started up, or at least situated to go in the bins we need to go in. I think honestly I can just throw it in any bin for now, then cycle it over when it dries, or vice versa. I have to go look at that. So propane, pretty expensive. We just got 6,600 gallons, which is quite a bit of propane actually, for 20,000. So we are back under $1 million. Shucks. But I imagine by the end of the month we'll be back over $1 million. Depending, I don't go crazy on the spending, though we do need to buy some more land, I think. But yeah, see y'all when we get back to the silo system. Alright, so we are back now. Just trying to figure out the unload. Alright, so we are harvesting away. I've taken over some duties, whether filling up manure in our BGA. So, pretty impressed with something. As you see over here, the concrete guys came by. Wanted to put a slab in there. Right now we kind of got manure piling up in there, and hopefully this is going to be a way to kind of move it out of there. So, worth an effort. I'll have to drive all the way through the pen to clean it out now too, but I'd rather do that than try to work within that smaller area, even though it could be done. Easy to go through with a larger bucket or something. But now they kind of did that and set it up pretty good for us, so that'll hold some of the manure. We can kind of let it build up over time there and not be too worried about it. Alright, so that probably didn't top that trailer off, or actually it did, because we're at 10% still in here, so my prediction of where that would be was pretty close. And naturally we got to go back and unload, so go do that, and then we're going to drive the truck up and get that unloaded in the bin. Unless one of the hired hands can come down and move it for us, but I would think, and we'll take a ride in the harvester after, but I would think that overall right now we're getting a pretty decent yield. I mean, that's a trailer full. Yeah, we've gone up and down a few times. I'll just have to probably back up after too. Give the N7 a little room, turn in and finish this row off. I wouldn't be surprised if they just went right down the end that way too. Try to work that other short side of the field up. But I'm thinking we probably have an okay yield. Probably nothing through the roof. Even though this field was telling me 110%. we'll swing around here where they get finishing up that, and we'll go unload that truck. And that was 15,000 liters in there already. That's pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off here. Run over to the pen. A little bit of a stutter there. Don't know what that's about. Not going to tarp this. We should be fine. We're just going across the creek here and up. So the manure is starting to fill up in that pen already, which is good. It actually looks like that pile's breaking down a little bit. So if we can pull from that pile and save us the work of having to move the pile, that's even better. Alright, let's see if we get enough of a run up here. I also need to do maintenance on our Mack truck. We knew it was used. They oversaw some things. We said we'd take care of, then I realized earlier that we need to take care of it sooner than later. So what I'm going to do, even though we don't have a lot of speed, is we're going to go up this way. We did get the manure out of here for the most part. We've got all that in the BJ, so the hired hand that I had done that, definitely getting it done. Like to see it. Also shocked it's already 1 o'clock. Time flies. Alright, let's get squared up here before we get through. There we go. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to hop out, right? It should. Yeah, corn's going in. Nothing should be getting transferred over on the outgoing yet. So we got that right there, right? Over here, kind of look at it, where we get to make our changes, right? We got the wet bin is our input, which is where it's all going to corn because it is a little wet, and then the output will be the storage bin. And I believe that's set up right. So if I come back over here and we go activate dryer, it should be drying that product. And there it goes, drying corn. So pull forward a little bit. Get this other one over the grate, right there. So it is working, which is what we wanted. We had that option, you know, if you open the F1 menu, you get here, you see that, right? And Squatch has a good video on it explaining it, where you can change in the upper, you know, right shift. And a few different keys to get different results. But you can do that to change the input location, change the output location. Essentially going from wet bin to anywhere else, it will dry. You can just go straight into storage bins. That won't allow you to have the drying option, but that works too, as you can see. And we're doing good. We still have some propane left in the propane tank. Maybe like, try to do this without jacking the edge up. There we go. I'm trying to think. I think we got like 5,000 liters, supposed to convert it to that way. It's only, you know, maybe 600 gallons. So we might have to run back to town where our yield stays up. I'm gonna park that right. It's gonna probably be, there we go. Jump out. We gotta run over and go unload again. That's probably the rest of our day. For October, that is. Well, at least October 2nd. And we don't have anything to harvest. This field will need to be plowed. I'm thinking maybe mulching corn stalks. That might be my plan, is to try to mulch these corn stalks down. We got that roller up there we could probably use. Have to look into that, but you know, if we can gain some extra fertilizer yield in the future on this, that'd be awesome. But making pretty good time overall, I'd say. 71 degrees in October, middle of October. That's pretty good. And I think, you know, I think we're going to put a grain in that soybean, that previous soybean field over there. I think that's got to be where we put it. Because I plan on purchasing the field next to us. And, you know, we're going to plow this up. I would probably put soybeans in here. I think would be the way I'd go, personally. But that's just me. Actually, I don't know why I turned all the way loop, because I'm just going to go dump this in that trailer. Then we'll jump in to the N7 after and watch the yield monitors and kind of see where we're at with it. We'll be able to see it too, I guess, when we get over to the truck. We'll look at the edge of the field and see what we got from that section. Always could pull up our readings, but I like to do it when we're inside the cab. Kind of feels a little better. Ooh, got that one close. Maybe too close. Yep, there we go. So that'll fill up. Like so, we'll leave that there for now. pH values, yeah, that's what it's telling me. Got weeds growing up in this. I don't believe that. There's the harvester. So, chart looks pretty good on the mini map. Let's go in here and let's take a look on the precision farming. So we know that's mostly, you know, it's got some loam, some silty clay. That's about it. We can work with that. pH level, we had that pretty balanced. Sorry, our environmental score down to a 79 now. What did we do wrong? Nitrogen, as expected, it was pretty strong, which is why I was slightly worried. We went a little overboard the way we had that field set up, but it was better than putting beans on it, because I don't think the beans would have turned that kind of yield. Now we see no nitrogen. That's why when we plow it, we'll be able to put soybeans in, and they'll be good to go. The yield. Got some spots with 110 and 100. Couple 95s here and there. So, I mean, that's a pretty solid take for me. You know, I think we did a good job maintaining some good environmental methods, which I kind of want to. There's a conservation method, and it's a mod out there now. Argsy just covered it. Kind of want to bring that into this series. Now that we've kind of, you know, we're getting kind of in a repetitive thing going on, you know. We're tending to things the way they're supposed to be tended to, but it's nice to always throw in a mix. So I'm kind of weighing whether I should bring that mod in, because I think that the mod's awesome. You know, I think it just adds a whole nother dynamic, which I recently just had that talk with somebody, you know, who talked about in my versatile video that there's no point of bringing versatile tillage equipment to the game because there's already other tillage equipment, and you can't do anything different with one tillage equipment or the other tillage equipment. And he's not wrong, but at the same time, Giants is starting to create that. You know, this year we saw different levels of tillage. You know, shallow, so on and so forth. It's quite the mud truck in there. So it's coming. It's on its way. You know, it's versatile is, you know, my favorite. That's why I made the video. And hopefully it wasn't upsetting the guy, which is what it kind of felt like at times. But then you have these guys that create these amazing mods, and it's like the door is starting to open more for giants because whether they discovered or not, they're seeing how other people are opening the game up to it, and it's allowing them to advance the game. And I'm not gonna say that, oh, you know, giants, you know, only goes by what they come up with, but I feel like some of the stuff we've seen in the recent plot and the DLCs expansions kind of came from other farmers that, or other farming sim mods that, you know, challenged the lines of the game, essentially. You know, they took the limits and they showed that it could be done. It may not be the smoothest, but that's where giants can come in and, you know, work with that modder, and they do make it better. And it feels so many times in the community, you kind of see like, oh, people like, oh, they can't do this, they can't do that, or oh, this is a great mod, or this is, you know, mod's pointless because you can't do what you're supposed to do with it. Well, in the end, this is a simulator, and you know, you want to try to simulate the best you can, but it's never going to be perfect. And that's where you kind of get to that crossroad. But I think, you know, Giants is going above and beyond to try to have those conversations, that dialogue with modders that are creating great things. And, you know, they're not like a lot of other games have been where they push you away and they say no. You know, if it's not in line with what they want exactly, they push you away. Giants is not like that. Giants is very open to its community, and I think is one of the most open gaming developers out there that really allows their community to have, you know, a say in a way. And I know some people are like, oh, they didn't listen, we wanted this, we wanted this. You're not always going to get what you want, but they do a pretty good job of trying to meet everybody. You know, and they can't get 100%, but they try hard. You definitely see it. That's just my take with all the stuff kind of going on in the community lately with, you know, the Patreons and, you know, bad mods being put out on purpose with malware in them. It's just stuff like that that doesn't need to happen. You know, and people don't realize it's going to ruin things not only for, you know, good modders sticking around the community, but it's also going to ruin that connection with giants in the community. So just something I'm thinking about, but I was also hoping we'd get more than 2 trailers of corn, and I don't know if we're going to be able to quite do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to stay on my same tracks for now so we don't rip up the field even though we're going to plow it. So I guess I could go wherever I want. I'm going to go to the end down here. We'll do one more pass down and then we'll loop around, and there's not too much left. I mean, they did the long sections already, so we'll load that trailer up again. Like I said, the goal, see how much we can get for this dry corn. We got that dryer set up now, so like I said, that's the stuff I'm talking about, though. Being able to have, you know, that stuff, squashing it, it's, you know, Thunder script that really worked it around. But it's modders all coming together with their creative minds. And honestly, I don't think they realize how far the game could go. If everybody could play nice, get along nice, I think you would see, you know, giants would even be in a position where they look at the modder and say, show us how you did this. We'll work with you on this. We'll give you the assets you need. We'll help you with the stuff we don't normally show. And it would just take, I think it would be an unbeatable simulator. I think across the board there would be no simulator close to it. If you know, those two parties came together fully, you know, open. And again, it comes down to, you know, all the modders willing to be on the same page with each other. You know, as we're doing dried corn, that's one of the things that I see the most is every map is different for dried corn. A lot of the mods are different for dried corn. Just getting, you know, that default name essentially for it, or being on the same page. And I know I'm kind of rambling on here, but it's just something that, you know, I love this game. I'm sure I probably play it way too much, but and there's a lot of great people in the community. It's just frustrating to see what the current things going on with it are. I don't think it's fair, you know, for some people to act the way they are. And for some reason, it always comes back to people trying to blame giants. And from what I've seen, Giants is always trying to move forward. They're always trying to improve. You know, they've got to cover the legalities of their side as well in situations. So I just think people overlook that, you know, they are a business. They are a pretty, you know, sharing business and how they kind of work with the community. And I think that makes it special. And I think that's why I like this game is, you know, there's that. But, yeah, enough of that. I was hoping, we should get 2 truckloads. I'm gonna say 2.5 truckloads. Because I think we can get some good corn out of this lower section. I think that's where the better yield was. I mean, let's go up here and see where we're actually at with this truck. 93%. So we're not far off. Go swing up here, get another load that I might be able to actually fill that. Because I'm kind of hoping, because we can run that up and be done with that. Well, at least have the dryer reloaded, essentially. Even though I think that's going to take most of October before all that corn is dry. I wonder if this will be enough to fill that truck up. I think it could be. I think I might be able to slightly follow the N7 too on the turn because of the opening they'll have on the other side. But I think we can definitely top that truck off now. Swing behind him once he turns around. Back it all the way up. But yeah, I mean, that field is going to be pretty fun to harvest. Oh no, I don't think we're going to get close enough. Yep. Didn't make it. I don't want to hit any of my other corn. Thought we could pull it off, but we could not. But I will finish this up, and I think that's going to do it for the episode. We'll run this up, like I said, to keep the dryer filling up, but that'll be our episode. So as always, thanks for... Oh, I didn't fill up the front all the way. Thanks for watching. If you've been sharing the content, please continue sharing it. I appreciate it. As always, till next time, Farmer Taz, out.